Hello, welcome back to Hardcore Fisherman with me, Scott Senior. I'm narrating over the top of this video because the sound was terrible, the wind was blowing, so I thought I'd narrate over it. Here I am, just talking. I'm going to do some casting, show you a few casts with a multiplier, low down, and see if you can follow along and try and get you casting a little bit using a multiplier. Excuse me. Frog in the old throat. So here I am just explaining. I'm down that pole, down the River Humber, and I'm just talking about what we're going to do and the casts and stuff like that. So this is a casting video I've been putting together. There will be some more videos coming out soon. It's just the editing software is playing up, so I'm trying to get at least a video out for Monday again. Things back on track. So here we are, explaining my little pendulum, a half pendulum. I'm using a 5-ounce lead. I'm using the Penn 525 Magalite. So there we go. Just going along into it, showing you the reel, the rod. Shakespeare Agility rods. Good little rods them. The reel's at the bottom. I can leave just enough gap for my hand to get in there. I'm going to show you the first cast just to get into the how I do it. So basically I swing the lead out. That's what you want to do. It wants to go right out. As soon as that lead gets right to the back of my head, then you want to bend into it and go like that, look. But that rod wants to be right out, in, and then out. You want to get your footing right, basically. You just want to stand in the right position, get your body to the cast, aim it where you want and go. This sort of cast needs a bit of space for this sort of cast, because you could take someone's head off. A lead going round in that speed can do damage. Snap offs can happen, so you've got to be careful. But if the beach and you're on, or the where you are, can support a cast like that and there's no one around, yeah, feel free to use it. Otherwise, piers, stuff like that, you just want to overhead cast on a pier. No swinging around like that, just an overhead cast. Sometimes you get an off the ground cast, but I'd suggest just an overhead cast on piers. This one might help you out, Shane, watching this, because my good mate Shane begged me. He's thinking about getting a multiplier and having to go over multiplier, so I'm going to show him a few casts. I'm going to take him out on the field or the beach and show him some casts and get him casting. Before people start commenting on those saying all this, I'm not an expert on casting. I'm just a average Joe that can put a lead at distance, because I've done a lot of practice myself. But if I can show that little bit of knowledge I've learned through the years of practicing and watching other videos to somebody else, then yeah, and it helps them cast, no worries. I'll turn the camera around now. I'm going to show you from the front angle, you know, so you'll turn the camera so you'll see it how I do it. There we are. I'm getting my foot stance right. Get your stance right. How you're going to stand into the cast, how your head's going to go. So you want that lead right out, and as soon as it gets behind my head like that, then you want to launch. The lead wants to be right in front of you before you even swing that lead out. Look, out, in. As you can see, that's quite a nice cast. Easily 160 yards there, no worries. Almost emptying the spool as I show you there, look. So you don't need distance in some of the spots I go, but it helps sometimes to be a little bit further out. So there I am, just explaining the principles of the fishing and the casting. It's my 5 ounce homemade leads that I make. Sometimes I use a 6 when it's strong out there, current and that. Often, very rare I go to a 7, but if I have to, I have to. But to be honest, I like to get myself at least a 5 ounce. But I like to practice cast with a 5, sometimes a 6, but 5s are just easy leads to cast. I've got the reel. I used to cast with the reel up top, then I decided to practice. I saw a lot of people getting good distance with the reel at the bottom, so I learnt to cast from the bottom. So here we go again. Get your footing right. This one is the off the ground cast. So you want the lead behind the back of your head again, placed onto the ground. Point the rod to the horizon, 160 degrees up. And you want to look to where you're aiming it, point you where you want it to go. And then turn, point, look. And out she goes. Simple off the ground cast. Was a fair distance there, easily over 100 yards, and that was an off the ground cast. Simple enough cast that anyone can do. So hopefully some of these casts you'll have a go yourself. If you're not that good at casting with a multiplier, you might see this video and think, well, I'll have a look. I know there's lots of different casting videos out there with lots of decent casters that really know what they're doing. I'm just the average Joe, just talking you through a few of my casts and what gear I use. Simple as that. It might help you out, it might not. You might already know what you're doing, but this is for the beginners that are learning a multiplier. Just the old basic casts. You are going to get a few birds' nests in practice, but it happens. We've all had these birds' nests in practice, so that's just how it is. It happens, but you might be lucky, you might not get one, but practice makes perfect. Generally, at least once a month, I try and get out for a practice. Practicing casting in, out, a few varieties of casts, just to keep myself topped up on the casting. Here you can see I'm showing you what I'm doing. I'm just going to cast it over my head, but not let go or out. I'm just going to show you want that out, in, drop it there, and then you just want to get the rod to the horizon, point it up, bring that rod into it as you do, bring it around, look straight over your head, boof, see? That's just a demonstration of the cast that I'm doing. You want that rod compressed. You do want to get the rod certainly compressed. Quite a few people have commented on my casting when I've been fishing and that, and they say, well, you've got a decent cast there, you seem to get right out. But it's all practice. I always practice, me. We all got to learn somewhere. We all start off with a fixed spool generally. If you're like me, I started off with a hand line, casting a hand line, and then went to a fixed spool on a pond rod. But I learned over the years, and when I learned on a multiplier, I was about 15, I reckon, when I learnt the multiplier. I was 15 years old. Easily 15 years old, I reckon. I borrowed our kids' multiplier, which was easy at the time. I just took it out for a spin, he had a 3-piece rod. It was quite a nice multiplier rod. Yeah, I'll explain now. I did cast a few times and hit the bottom as I went down and slammed the rod into the ground. Lucky I never broke anything like, but went my rod like, but I was giving it a go. So here we go again. I'll show you this cast again. Out, in, and then you want your rod around the back of your head that I'm pointing. You want that lead to be right behind on this one. I don't know if they call this a stubby pendulum or a half pendulum or what, but I learned it off a guy who was helping me around here. So, old Gavin McKenzie, I learned it off him. He took me on field and said, I'll show you a cast how I do it, and I learnt this like stubby pendulum. Seemed to work for me, and I put practice in, and due to him I got to this cast. I didn't learn this cast until about 4 years ago I learnt this cast. But I like this cast, it does with me. I can belt a lead from just behind the back of my head and still get out some distance. For those that know, I've shown Shane a couple of casts on Saturday, so yeah, he's seen a few of them. And I'm hoping to try and get him casting with a multiplier. Again, right out, right on the back of your head, then you want to launch. You want that rod to get compressed. Once that lead hits the back in front of you, you want to turn around and belt. So out, like that. You want to get a good swing. Get the rod into an arc so it gets right around the back of your head. Turn it right round and look. Whoa. But that was an alright cast. I'm only doing a few casts, as I said, on this video just to show you. Got quite a few videos to try and put out, but the software seems to be playing up, so what I'm going to do is see if I can get a different software. But if this one works, then I'll keep this software. This is that DaVinci I'm using, the free version. There was a lot of good comments on this stuff, and when I first started using it, it was good. It was working all the time, the videos were getting edited fine, and now suddenly it doesn't want to put the clips together. Excuse me, it's trying to do whatever it's trying to do. It's not allowing me to do that, but it's making stupid noises. This is the software that I'm using. I don't know. But it were working and then suddenly it stopped. Basically, we're going along. To be honest, I'm a better caster than our kid now. He used to be a good caster, like, and now I outcast him. But I've put a lot of practice in since he's become a father. You know, his casting's not. It's slowed down. He hasn't had as much sessions as I have, so I've caught more fish than him now. Easily caught more fish than him now. There's only going to be me and him in the family that are going to be catching fish at the moment. The rest of the family don't fish, so it's just me or our kid. He does a lot of pond fishing now, but he has got a new charity thing that he's involved with down in Scotland, which I've got a video coming out about that as soon as I can get it sorted. He is looking for some donations on fishing gear. No money, well, we don't want no money. It's any fishing gear you can spare. If you could just donate rigs, clips, swivels, all that stuff to this thing, it will help him out. Any old rods, anything you can spare, that'll get into it. There we go, look. Right out. But yeah, anything you could spare would help the charity out. I've got a video coming out soon how you can get in touch and donate anything you can donate, like reels, rods, line.